Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, this is another episode of Coffee and Contemplation. I'm your motherfucking boy, Old Heart. That's right. And I am here trying to wake up my mind and my brain. Well, those are the same things, actually. But I'm trying to wake up all the same. You know, one sip of coffee at a time and one piece of, information I didn't know the day before. Either way, I'm here sitting down with a cup of coffee. It's a pretty lukewarm, honestly, I'd say it's room temperature cup of coffee. But I was reading and listening recently about something very intriguing. A mystery, you might call it. Well, yes, Murder, She Wrote always deserves an applaud. I need to start a Murder, She Wrote podcast. Excuse me. Either way, not to get distracted. I am talking about these ancient civilizations that are recently being discovered in the Amazon basin, like the Amazon jungle. You know what I'm talking about? Let me paint that picture for you. That like 700 million square mile fucking jungle basin in South America. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I'm wired, man. I got all this coffee flowing through me. Anyway, so I found this Nat Geo, if you're not in the know, that's National Geographic article titled Amazon Jungle Once Home to Millions More Than Previously Thought. And interesting, right? Stirs the imagination and whatnot. But I was also listening to this cat named Graham Hancock talking about these ancient civilizations and how they are slowly being discovered as well. And so it just, everything kind of collided into me, hyper-focusing on this over a cup of coffee, which is why you're listening currently, or you're not, which is also, whatever, that's you. Either way, so the basic gist of it is that in the Amazon jungle, about 350,000 years ago, there were these ancient civilizations living and thriving, to be real. And they had these very, there's proof of astronomy with these interesting geoglyphs that were there's one really well-known one. It's like a circle or a square inside a circle. No, a circle inside a square inside a circle. But it's and one of them is set perf to true north, true south, true east, and true west, which cannot be done without using astronomy, right? And people have often given credit to ancient civilizations like the Greeks to help to give credit for using these sciences to begin with and whatnot. And we're talking 350,000 years ago in the Amazon basin. They were doing that same shit. Anyway, so as they're being discovered using this laser technology, it's called LARD or something like that, LARID or some shit. It is which is it's this. Basically, you use helicopters and whatnot to go above the area, and you blast a bunch of lasers down. Not like Star Wars lasers or Star Trek lasers, but just harmless lasers, so you don't damage the forest. And it basically captures imaging. So they're discovering all these ancient sites in the jungle. And They're just it's currently becoming a big mystery. So what the fuck were they talking about when they were talking about nobody living in the Amazon when the Spanish so-called discovered it? Well, that is mainly due to when they sailed back, gave them the news, dropped that shit off, and they're like, well, let's just go back and check out the land. We've heard of ancient and tales of ancient gold and stuff like that. So they go all back to this jungle, and by the time they get back there, after like raping and pillaging and doing whatever they do, they basically have spread smallpox amongst all these people and killed off probably a large portion of their population because there's no immunity to such a disease. You see, it's kind of the problem. You just can't go around injecting people with new diseases. And the rest of them probably deserted their sites thinking like some sort of, terrible thing is happening. Well, because it is. Let's be real. If none of us had an immunity to smallpox and an epidemic broke out, what the fuck would you do? Back up. Oh my gosh. So, shoutouts to Evil Elf forever. Shoutouts to Mooner6. Shoutouts to my boy Phil Collins. Shoutouts to Casserole. Shoutouts to Harrison Hannon. Shoutouts to Uncaged. Shoutouts to all of my wood. Shoutouts to Monkflower Band. Shoutouts to anybody listening. Kudos to you. And always, always shout out to me. So, as I'm scrolling down this lovely Nat Geo article I'm currently just glimpsing at, there's an ad for Florida. Nobody wants to go to Florida. I'm just going to say that right now. I have never been to Florida, nor do I ever want to go to Florida. Sounds like a fucking rat hole at this point. Anyway, so moving on. So the Spanish invade and kill everybody with smallpox, and basically they never discovered those cities, right? They just, because the Amazon jungle, I would love to go to the Amazon jungle. I am not the most outdoorsy person, trust me. So for me to say that, even I can comprehend the fucking beauty and mystery and danger of such a place, which is kind of half the intrigue. I wouldn't mind dying in a fucking wild jungle adventure. You should talk to my boy Dr. Drungus. Dr. Gerald Drungus has some crazy jungle stories. But just be careful. He's usually drunk. Anyway, so they couldn't find these civilizations, right? So they just, gave up, chalked it up to old mystery, whatever. The jungle grew over a ton of these sites within probably 50 years, I think was an estimate I heard. But facts remain, as they're being discovered right now, because, and this is the devastating part, the people are tearing down the jungle in order to basically put in soybean farms and shit like that, so people can have all their soybean oil and whatnot. And I'm not saying I'm not guilty of it. Fuck all, y'all. I use oil all the time, and I'm sure I eat things and ingest things with soybean oil just as much as any other human being. We're all guilty of it, but what I'm saying is that's leading to tearing down the jungle in the Amazon, which is leading to the discovering of these, right? The discoveries of these ancient sites, which is kind of cool, but also really unfortunate. Derp. Anyway, one of the other things, the kind of neat things that they're discovering through this whole process is what they call terra preta. Terra preta. Yeah, it literally means black soil in Portuguese. It's a type of very dark, fertile, not bad, artificial soil found in the Amazon basin. So it is also known as Amazonian dark earth or Indian black earth, or in Portuguese, the terra preta do Indio, black soil of the Indian. Anyway, so I guess maybe it's not not like a new discovery maybe, but I thought it was interesting. So It owes its characteristic black color to its weathered charcoal content, which is made by adding a mixture of charcoal, bone, broken pottery, compost, and manure, and all sorts of stuff like that. Relative to basically the relatively infertile Amazonian soil. And this led basically to this really dense, nutritious soil. Okay, hold on, let's see. Terra Petra is characterized by the presence of low-temperature charcoal residues in high concentrations of high quantities. One of the interesting things that I heard about the specific soil that they're finding in the Amazon basin is that it's like they haven't found the certain molecular structure or some shit. It's just not replicated anywhere else. Gotta look into that. Anyway, the origins of the Amazonian dark earths were not immediately clear to late settlers. One idea was that they resulted from ashfall from the volcanoes in the Andes, but since they occur more frequently on the brows of those high terraces. You see what I mean? Anyway, I had a burp in the back of my throat. You ever have just a burp stuck in the back of your throat? Nah, that's just me. Alright, whatever. So, Amazonians formed complex, large-scale social formations, including chiefdoms and even large towns and cities. For instance, the culture of the island of Marajo, don't quote me on that one, may have developed social stratification to support a population of over 100,000. So there were these and that's what I mean. This soil was formed in these towns, right? And these cities are discovered in the Amazon. And the thing is that these same cities are the same people that were practicing apparent forms of astronomy. So clearly they were developing actual sciences in the fucking Amazon jungle. And we're discovering this because we're tearing it down for soybeans. I have real mixed feelings about this. I'm really glad that we're discovering this, but I'm really sad that we're discovering it in the way we are. Let's just say that. That being said, this has been another interesting episode of Coffee and Contemplation. Kind of talking about the Amazon jungle, kind of talking about dirt, kind of talking about, you, me, and everything in between. Either way, I just want to say thank you for listening. And go out there, use your brain for good. You know what? Spread the good word. Old Heart Radio. We're there. That's the slogan, I guess. Either way, like I said, every day is a good day to ripen up your coconut. Go out there, use your brain for good. And fuck all, I guess. You know what they say. Keep your stick on the ice.